Okay. So where were we? Oh, oops. Let's do this. Okay. Where were we here? Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dhamma, homage to the Sangha. Thus have I heard, on one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Varanasi in the deer park at Isipatana. There the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus of the group of 5 thus. Bhikkhus, Venerable Sir, those bhikkhus replied, the Blessed One said this. Bhikkhus, form is not self. For bhikkhus, if form were self, this form would not lead to affliction, and it would be possible to have it of form. Let my form be thus, let my form not be thus. But because form is non-self, form leads to affliction, and it is not possible to have it of form. Let my form be thus, let my form not be thus. Feeling is non-self, perception is non-self, volitional formations are non-self, consciousness is non-self. For if bhikkhus, consciousness were self, this consciousness would not lead to affliction, and it would be possible to have it of consciousness. Let my consciousness be thus, let my consciousness not be thus. But because consciousness is non-self, consciousness leads to affliction, and it is not possible to have it of consciousness. Let my consciousness be thus, let my consciousness not be thus. Okay, so we'll take the comments here. So Harshini, can you see the screen okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. I'll let you go ahead and just read the green section here.
Sure. They are beyond my control. How could they be mine? Have I started in the right place? Because I can't see the very top. Have I started?
Yes, that is exactly right.
Okay. Here, the Buddha is saying the 5 aggregates are not really you and not really yours. If the 5 aggregates were you or yours, then you would have control over them. For example, when you are young, you want to grow up very fast. And even though you want to grow up very fast, you can't grow up faster than the natural pace. Then one day you are grown up and you are very happy. But then you start to grow old. When you start growing old, you would like to stop the aging process. But then again, you have no control over it, especially after 40, when you start to age quite fast. There is no way you can apply the brakes. Or will that your body not be sick? That is why the Buddha says you have no control over the 5 aggregates. Similarly, in the Christian Bible, Jesus Christ said that you cannot even add 1 cubit to your height. A cubit is a 4 arms length. Likewise, with feeling, we discriminate between pleasant and unpleasant feeling. When we have unpleasant feelings, we want to end them immediately. Otherwise, we feel a lot of grief and sorrow. But when we have pleasurable feelings, we want to prolong it. So some people take drugs or indulge in sensual pleasures and go to all sorts of ways to prolong pleasurable feelings. But the body can't take it. And if you try to prolong it too much, it might blow your mind, as they say. Thus, feelings are also beyond our control. We cannot have only pleasant feelings as we would like to. Pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feelings arise and pass away according to conditions.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So one of the things that comes up for me here, just a real quick note, is how can a pleasant feeling be suffering? Well, it's going to end. And we have reflected before that, have you ever been out at a restaurant and maybe you're eating with some friends and having a good time, and then you're getting to the end of the meal? It's not completely done yet, but you start to think about, oh, where we're going to eat next. What restaurant are we going to go to next? There's just like this little subtle ending of that, or subtle suffering in the ending of that meal that you're having.
Can I just say, also there's
Yes.
times when there's too much of a good thing. Remember Delson's example of chocolate cake and being given
Yes,
too many pieces of it all at once. So
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, too much here. And it's so easy because the sense pleasure of food, it goes away so quickly, so easy to overeat. Um, okay. So what do you think, bhikkhus? Is form permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering or happiness? Suffering, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, fit to be regarded thus: this is mine, this I am, this is myself? No, Venerable Sir. Is feeling permanent or impermanent? Is perception permanent or impermanent? Are volitional formations permanent or impermanent? Is consciousness permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering or happiness? Suffering, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering and subject to change, fit to be regarded thus: this is mine, this I am, this is myself? No, Venerable Sir. Therefore, bhikkhus, any kind of form whatsoever, whether past, future, or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all form should be seen as it really is with correct wisdom thus: this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Any kind of feeling whatsoever, any kind of perception whatsoever, any kind of volitional formations whatsoever, any kind of consciousness whatsoever, whether past, future, or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all consciousness should be seen as it really is with correct wisdom thus: this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Seeing thus, bhikkhus, the instructed noble disciple experiences revulsion towards form, revulsion towards feeling, revulsion towards perception, revulsion towards volitional formations, revulsion toward consciousness. Experiencing revulsion, he becomes dispassionate. Through dispassion, his mind is liberated. When it is liberated, there comes the knowledge. It is liberated. He understands. Destroyed is birth. The holy life has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more for this state of being. That is what the Blessed One said. Elated, those bhikkhus delighted in the Blessed One's statement. And while this discourse was being spoken, the minds of the bhikkhus of the group of 5 were liberated from the taints by non-clinging. All right. So we'll finish with the comments here. And Inigo, are you there? I can't see anyone.
Is the sound okay, Kirsten?
Perfect.
Good.
Thank you,
Okay.
Inigo.
Not self. This sutta was spoken by the Buddha to his first disciples, that is, the group of 5 monks. After hearing this discourse, all of them attained arahanthood. The Buddha is saying the 5 aggregates, body, feeling, perception, volition, and consciousness, basically body and mind, are impermanent, and because they're impermanent, they're painful. And what is painful, impermanent, and unstable by nature is not fitting to regard as I, mine, or myself. When a person realizes this, he becomes disenchanted or wearied with the 5 aggregates. Following that, he becomes dispassionate, lets go of attachment for them, and becomes liberated. If we take what by nature is impermanent, painful, and unstable to be I, to be mine, to be myself, then we're taking up a burden of the 5 aggregates, a burden of suffering. Only when we let go of these 5 aggregates and don't take them to be I, mine, or myself, do we let go of this burden of suffering. Only then can we be released. How do we see the body and mind as not I, not mine, and not myself? It's by practicing the Aryan Noble Eightfold Path fully, and this includes the contemplation of body and mind, seeing that they depend on conditions, are impermanent, unstable, and are of the nature to change, sicken, and die. The body arises because of the union of father and mother. The body is dependent on food for subsistence, on suitable weather and other environmental conditions, etc. The mind depends on contact through the 6 sense doors with the 6 sense objects. When we understand the nature of the body and mind, we become wearied, disenchanted, and following that, let go of the 5 aggregates and become freed.
Great. I can see you again. Thank you, Iniko. All right, let me change the view here. I can see everybody. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, I love the word wearied for that. Being wearied, this is, we can see this when we start looking at how we try to control things. And we really notice this when people are sitting in a quiet mind and really growing wearied that everything just keeps coming, and letting go of each little subtle arising can really lead to some very profound peace. So with that, I want to share again. For our meditation, I wanted to share the monks chanting a little bit. So I'm just going to share for a few minutes, and then I'm going to turn that off and come back and do the guided meditation. And let's see here. So when I share, I want to just make sure everything is going to kind of work out right. So when I share the screen, hopefully it works right and you can see it. So I have found a video that shows it's the Abhayagiri monks who are chanting this sutta. And it's just really quite beautiful. And there's a couple of things you can do. You can close your eyes and just start your meditation with that and just kind of feel that. You can also, if you want to watch while you listen, you can look at the words on the screen because it's in Pali and in English. So you can kind of see what it is and watch that for a little bit and follow along. It's kind of your choice. But I'll share the screen, close the screen, and we'll just kind of continue into our meditation from there. So I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for myself. So it's a total of 30 minutes. And we'll just listen to the monks for a few minutes and we'll let them get our minds very still by taking us to this place. All right. So let's see what happens here.
เอวังเมสุนทังเอกังสมัยยังบาทวาปาราณสียังวิหารติสิปัตตันเดมิกดายเยทาพระโกภะคะวะปัญจวัคคีเยภิกขุอามันเตสิรูปังเบกเวอนาตารูปัญจหิดังเบกเวอาคาอบาเวสนัยดังรูปังอาบาดายสังวาเทยลาเบตจารูเปเอวังเมรูปังโหตุเอวังเมรูปังมาโหสิติยสมมาจโกเบกเวรูปังอนาตาตัสมารูปังอาบาดายสังวาทตินัจจลาปฏิรูปเอวังเมรูปังโหตุเอวังเมรูปังมาโหสิติเวดนาหนาตาเวดนาชาอิดังเบกเวอาตาภเวสนัยดังเวดนาอาบาดายสังวาเทยลาเบตจเวดนายเอวังเมเวดนาโหตุเอวังเมเวดนามาโหสิติยสมมาจโกเบกเวเวดนาอนาตาทัสมาเวดนาอาบาดายสังวาตตินัจจลาปฏิเวดนายเอวังเมเวดนาโหตุเอวังเมเวดนามาโหสิติสัญญานาตาสัญญาชหิดังเบกเวอาคาหภเวสนัยดังสัญญาอาบาดายสังวาเทยลาเบตจสัญญายเอวังเมสัญญาโหตุเอวังเมสัญญามาโหสิติยสมมาจโกเบกเวสัญญานาตาทัสมาสัญญาอาบาดายสังวาตตินัจจลามติสัญญายเอวังเมสัญญาโหตุเอวังเมสัญญามาโหสิติสังขาราหนาตาสังขาราชหิดังเบกเวอาตาอภเวสังสุนัยดังสังขาราอาปาดายสังวาเทยงลาเบตจสังขาเรสุเอวังเมสังขาราหนตุเอวังเมสังขารามาเหสุนดิยสมาจโกเบกเวสังขาราหนาตาทัสมาสังขาราหาบาดายสังวาทันตินัจจลาปฏิสังขาเรสุเอวังเมสังขาราหนตุเอวังเมสังขารามาเหสุนดิวิญญาณังอนาตาวิญญาณัญจหิดังเบกเวอาตาภเวสนัยดังวิญญาณังอาบาดายสังวาเทยลาเบตจวิญญาเนเอวังเมวิญญาณังโหตุเอวังเมวิญญาณังมาโหสิติยสมมาจโกเบกเววิญญาณังอนาตาทัสมาวิญญาณังอาบาดายสังวาทตินัจจลาปฏิวิญญาเนเอวังเมวิญญาณังโหตุเอวังเมวิญญาณังมาโหสิติทังเค
Well, let's just continue there. If you're already resting in a meditative space, just stay with that, or go ahead and settle in now. And notice any peace arising in your mind now. You can just smile into that. And let's go ahead and bring up a feeling of loving kindness, an intention of loving kindness. You can wish yourself well and see yourself smiling. Say, may I be happy and safe, and feel that feeling in your heart. It might feel like a vibration or a soft glow. Just smile into that feeling. Notice that feeling just on its own, expanding around you, just moving through your whole body. And I think we all know what to do if we get distracted. Just notice it, let it be there. Relax the tension and tightness. Smile and come back to loving kindness. We just allow the mind to be collected in the sense of loving kindness. There's nowhere to go. We can just be content staying right here. We can let go of this constant need to do the next thing. It's okay to be right here. It's okay to relax. All those things we need to do, they'll happen anyway. If you want to, you can bring up another phrase for yourself to wish loving kindness. May I be healthy. May I have compassion for all living beings. May I have wisdom. May I have deep understanding. Just feel that wish for yourself. You might imagine you're in a great big pool of loving kindness. You're just submerged in this feeling. Just the rest in the feeling. And we can begin to share this feeling with beings all around us. All beings. Human beings, non-human beings, animals, higher beings and lower beings, beings who are happy or suffering, rich or poor, healthy or sick, not judging any being at all beings getting to experience our loving kindness. And imagine the beings in front of you. With this feeling just softly emanating from you, from your whole body forward. You can smile, and in your mind take a moment to see some of these beings smiling back at you. Just see their joy, see their happiness. And not pushing the feeling forward, just letting it flow. And now to all beings behind you. Not pushing anything too hard. It's just a light intention that all those beings behind us are happy and well. Now to all beings to the right of us and to the left of us. Smile into this intention. And now let's wish all beings below us happiness. You could almost imagine you're sitting on the earth, this whole globe, and below you are all the beings, human beings, animal beings, insect beings, all on the earth and in the earth. So in the physical space below you, just pervading that area with loving kindness. May all these beings be free from suffering. I like to think of even the little insects in the earth, the little worms, and all the little grubs and things that we notice whenever you're maybe planting. Any beings that come to your mind when you think of this direction. Sometimes people think also of the other realms below us. Any beings in any realms that have even more suffering than the human world has. So the hungry ghosts, the animals, beings who are in the worst of all realms, the hell realms. And maybe even theoretically, just wishing all those who are suffering, particularly, wishing them relief from their suffering. May all these beings be well, happy, and have relief. May they truly be free. And let's go to all beings above us. And in the physical realm, you might imagine flying things, flying insects, birds, any organisms in the air above us. And imagine the planets, our world system beyond ours. Wishing all these creatures well. And we can also go on and think of anyone in another realm, the realms that are symbolically above the human realm. So many of the Deva realms, the Brahma realms, and formless realms. Those beings who are in the jhana realms. And imagine whatever comes to mind. Even the beings in higher realms suffer, but they have a little less suffering. They're still in this cycle. So we wish them well and freedom from suffering. We can wish them happiness. May they enjoy their existence. See if you can see any being or imagine any being smiling back at you from this realm. Or just feeling their happiness. Just go ahead and smile with them. And now we can go ahead and radiate loving kindness to all beings around us all at once. So we just become like a glow of loving kindness. If the feeling is expansive, then you go with that. And if the feeling is more quiet, and we're coming into your mind more and more, then you just notice that. And with intention at all, you can let that go. Right, so let's start coming back into noticing being here now, noticing your body wherever you're sitting, maybe noticing the sensation of your clothing, noticing the sounds around you where you are. And opening your eyes and becoming aware of the space around you, where you can see. And we'll come back to finish up with our reflection. Thank you all for meditating with me. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We'll look here. Okay, so I wanted to, the reflection question is kind of a suggested reflection question, and I was going to share an example of an experience that I had that kind of related to this, and then just let anybody else share also. So ways you try to control experience or feeling. I noticed this in a meditation that I did a few days ago, where I was thinking about a loved one who was doing things that I didn't think were the best things that they should be doing according to me. And I noticed that in my mind that I was trying to control the experience. And the word that came to my mind, that what I was doing, it's almost like my mind was scheming. I was trying to figure out ways in my mind. First, it felt like ways that I could help them. But certainly there was an element there wanting to control them. How can I make them behave in a different ways? And my mind was just working so hard to try to find an answer to this. And this was really, it was because it was giving me a painful feeling. And so I didn't like that feeling. And if this other person would not do this thing, which caused their own suffering in my mind again, then they would just be happier. And when I finally saw that, I mean, I was really lost in thinking about this for a while. And when I finally saw it and relaxed it, one of the things that I saw is when you give up, when you really give up, I thought, well, if I don't try to control this other person, then when I'm with them, I'm just going to just love them and accept them how they are and let them, make the choice, because I really can't control it. It was crazy watching my mind do all these acrobatics for how I could try to change what this person was doing. And that made me grow very wearied indeed. So anyway, that's my example from the reflection question. So I'll kind of read it again, and feel free to raise your hand if you would love to share. We would love to hear you. Have you noticed specific ways you try to control feeling? Were you able to relax? If so, what happened? Any insights? And it doesn't have to be anything profound that happened. Anything at all. All right, great. Harshini.
Hi, Kirsten. I just wanted to share something that was not only specific to well, it is all down to control. But what I wanted to say was actually in the practice for me, I have noticed that different stages, you notice something in the Dhamma. It may be the control, it might be the tightening, it might be, I don't know, something like, the 6-hour works. Something in the Dhamma, some little point of Dhamma, it's different at different times. You notice that. And for me, it's always been the becoming, the bhava. That link has been super kind of effective. And if you can just make that your mindfulness anchor, because that naturally comes up, then you're constantly going, oh, this is a good thing. I need to take joy in it. And, oh, this is not great for my mental state. I need to let that go and have some relief. So either way, you end up finally realizing I either have joy in trying to encourage something wonderful that has come up, or I have relief because I've let the tiresomeness go. So then you start to see life. I know it's challenging and there's a lot of dukkha, but you start to see life in a slightly different perspective. Like, you can make it all positive with very little effort, in fact. And don't get me wrong, I have great moments of exhaustion as well. But and you feel like you're running around in circles until, like you said, suddenly you go, I just need to drop this and accept. And then, voila, the cloud's clear. But I just wanted to share that it doesn't have to be the same thing for everybody, just so long as you have some Dhamma point, something that speaks to you, and you just make that your Dhamma anchor. And that just brings the mindfulness up all the time through your life, through whatever you're doing. Even in your sleep, weirdly. This happens to me in my sleep as well. So just wanted to share that. That's all.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, and as anyone else wanting to share, feel free. You can also respond to one another. Anything at all. I'll say a few words while we wait here. Yeah, I love that about the Dhamma. That's different things at different times for us. One little thing that becomes the thing that we can kind of work with. One little Dhamma teaching that just hits us the right way. Yeah, and I was also, one reflection that I had the other day is just that, the Arahant must be so relaxed, what a relief. I just always feel that. All right. And yeah, Nat, you can't think your way out of feeling. I love that because it's, he would say, thoughts are one thing, feeling is another. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to think. He said we're trying to think the feeling. We're trying to change the feeling with our thoughts, like lots of thoughts to control it. And it doesn't. He would say you can't because they're in different domains.
Yeah, I've shared that with, friends I've got that they're not Buddhists. They don't know anything about this. And they're really, they're struggling with something. It's like, man, I need to talk to you about this. And one friend of mine, I said, well, you're trying to think your way out of a feeling. And he's like,
Great.
yeah.
Yeah, you can share some of these aspects with anyone. After my first retreat that I went on, I was working in addictions, and I went back and I just shared some of the things that I had learned without, sharing Buddhism. And I especially shared because I used to do, kind of CBT, and the dependent origination is slightly different than CBT. CBT is kind of like, if you want to change how you feel, change your thoughts. And this kind of turns that around just a little bit, this thinking. So let's take a look here. Oh yeah, what a relief it would be after 7 days of sitting. Yeah, if you're sitting in a very special place, I would say definitely that would be an amazing thing. Would anyone else like to share? Anyone who's maybe usually a little bit more quiet? Okay, Dawn. Hey there. Good to see you.
Hello. So I may be a little out of my depth here, but I was struck by what Quinn said about limiting and control. And I think that's a place where I get stuck. I think a lot of people get stuck. That these feelings of I want a cookie, that I want this, that I want to be that I shouldn't think, that I shouldn't do this. It strikes me that this is wrong thinking, that it's not right thinking, that it is that we have minds. You know, someone said, maybe it was Dawson, someone recently said that when these minds that we have, they're thinking machines. That's what they do. We can't stop them from doing these things. And so there's nothing to limit. You want a cookie? You want a cookie. And then we get back to the point of not self. So I was looking at your question that you put on WhatsApp, reflection questions and ways you control experience and feeling. And I just, in my own practice during the day, and wander around, and I'm watching myself, you know, grasp for this and cling to that, and looking at what brings up these feelings. Usually craving or clinging, and maybe those are the same. I kind of am thinking they're a little different these days. That clinging is grabbing onto something, craving is wanting something. And looking at it very closely to see who is craving and who is clinging. And, you know, it may or may not be me. I don't know, but I don't think it's me. It is just simply that. It's craving, it's clinging, and it's not bad. It's okay. As Delson would say, it's okay. You can cling, you can crave, you can want that cookie. There's no reason to limit that. The question is are you going to eat that cookie? You have a reason not to eat in the afternoon. You've taken a vow. Okay, so you take that vow and you're not going to eat after the noonday meal. You look at that and say, who is this that's wanting this cookie? And release that. That's where you release, and that's where you let go. And then see what occurs then. For me, it usually comes back that I want that cookie. And so you do it again. And, you know, one has a reason for not wishing to take food after the noonday meal, but it may be that you eat that cookie. You know, you're not going to go to hell for eating that cookie. It's okay. And then you let go of that and you move on to the next thing you want, and the next thing that you cling. And that's our practice. It strikes me as being our practice.
That's beautiful, Dawn. That's very, very insightful. Sadhu. All right. Okay, so we have time for one more comment. And anyone else, and then we'll wrap up from there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and share some merits then. Merit sheets. Yeah, really great stuff, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.